There's no slides for this one. It's just me chatting from Huge Fair 4. So, risk in development. I like to take risks. Some people know me as, who know me actually think I'm quite opinionated. So this is just an opinion piece. You can disagree with me. I'm often wrong as well, but I'm gracious in defeat. Like I said, even though a lot of this talks in sort of a negative light about risk, I am a risk taker. You know, on the Nando scale, I'll have the hot. And my backups are only in 2 geographically diverse places, rather than 3. So I'm a bit of a maverick. So, we'll start with the really, really exciting stuff, which is definitions of risk, which is the chance of something going wrong. So, there's an inherent risk in everything. Nothing is 100% unless you throw buckets of cash at things, and maybe not even then. And we'll start off with what causes risk. So, in development, code is risk. So every line of code you write has to be tested, has to be deployed, has to be maintained, has to be secured. It might need validation, which is more code to validate the code you've got. Others have to learn it. And the true measurement is actually value delivered, not code delivered, because it's a perverse metric if you say, oh, you must deliver 3 million lines of code. That's value. No, it's not. It's how fast can you get things to the customer. Start as small as you can with code. So that's the first important thing of risk. Now, when you build code, it has to go somewhere. So infrastructure. Infrastructure is a massive risk. So servers run large and complicated pieces of code to run your code. They're not secure by default. So easy ways to get into your servers, you put them on the internet, you put yourself at risk. It costs money and it will fail. And when you do infrastructure, there's a paradox of, if you want your stuff to be reliable, you have to buy more of it. So again, repeat cycles. Your commute's important to you. You don't buy 2 cars in the off chance that one car breaks and you can't commute. But people buy 2 servers as if it's no big deal. It's just, that's how you mitigate your risk. People, the most obvious risk. So there's a few examples. Hands up who has fat-fingered a SQL query, or knocked out a database, or accidentally deleted something. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you are all risky. Shutting down the wrong servers. You know, oh, I thought it was in like QA. I just shut that down. Oh, it's production. Well, we'll have to apologise to our customers now. Code that works on my machine, the cliche, but code only works on my machine. Reusing passwords, or even better, putting them in wiki so everyone can see them. This was directed at someone and they just laughed, so it's fine. These are all behaviours I've seen, so, oh, I can't get into this machine, or it's not responding to web traffic, or this and that. I'll just open all the ports, it's fine. Oh wait, that's internet facing, and oh wait, someone's just remote desktop onto it and just stolen everything, or got into our networks. So, those things add risk. One thing that's coined by, I think it was Amazon, but also introduces risk is what they call undifferentiated heavy lifting. So that is, getting code out there takes a lot of thought and a lot of effort. So you've got to think about, right, what frameworks am I going to use? Where's it going to go? How do I deploy it? Do I use a cloud provider? Do I do it on-premise? I need a pipeline to get this out there. Lots of big chunky things that I have to think about, all add risk. Customers don't care about that stuff. If you're using .NET Core over like Node, that doesn't increase your conversion rates. If you're using React, that doesn't improve your review scores. If you're using AWS, that doesn't increase your brand trust. Your customer doesn't see that. Your customer sees your site, your customer sees your process, your external factors. They can help you differentiate though. So if you're using React, decreases your time to market, brilliant, use it, because you're faster than your competitors. If using a certain cloud provider over another reduces your costs, brilliant. That's how you get an edge over your competitors. If something lets you automate away the risk, by all means, or can you deliver faster? Again, those things support. I'm not saying like, oh, don't use anything, but technically the most secure, most reliable amount of code is zero code. But we can't get away with that. We need to make money. And as a typical scenario, and I see it a lot of times, but let's say you're a retailer and you want on every page the top 10 products you sold And so you go to microwaves, and you say, these are the top 10 microwaves we sold. Or you go to like mobile phones, these are top 10 mobile phones. Now that stuff doesn't change very often. It might change every 24 hours or so. But it's a lot. Let's say you get all that stuff from a database, and it's 250,000 requests an hour. So that's how, your site's getting hammered. You got a lot of people seeing these top 10 products, and it does support your site in some way. And the common default stack I see people going after is, oh, well, we've got to put it on .NET Core, or we've got to put on Node, or whatever platform we choose. Right, great. So we've got some code that reads from the database, spits it out on the website, and it integrates into our little website as a little portal. So we put that on there, and we say, oh, it runs on servers. And then someone with a really bright light bulb above the head goes, nah, no, we will use Kubernetes, because this will solve all our problems, because containers are brilliant. And then you realize that you've just deployed thousands and thousands of lines of code to run 50. When you look at it on the face of it and you really start digging into it, that's kind of madness, really. It's like, all I'm doing is, like if you know your SQL, select top 10 from this, where my category is this, and then wrap it around, turn it into JSON, spit it out somewhere. And you're running 2 servers, and you got all this stack, and you might even run more servers, so like your traffic doubles, triples, quadruples. Oh, well, we'll just throw more servers at it. Oh, no, it's not really performing as well. Let's throw some caching in front of it. Thousands and thousands and thousands of lines of code supporting 50. So, or you can think of it another way. You break down the problem. So you say, all right, this only updates once a day. I'm not a server specialist. I'm a retailer, or I sell, pens or something. I don't care about infrastructure. So why don't I make it a little job that runs? And that job goes to someone who's really good at this stuff, like content delivery networks, or Cloudflare, or CloudFront, or Fastly. And you just say, this is my little precious JSON blob. You go live in your massive network of CDN stuff. It's public anyway. There's no risk to me. You're just offloading that traffic. And they take the load of it. They just host that thing, and your site goes, oh, excuse me, CDN, I'll just take this out and host it at my site. The best thing about that is you have one server running a tiny little thing that distributes this JSON to a CDN, this big behemoth full of super sysadmins and absolute experts who their job, their differentiating heavy lifting is we want to run the best servers in the world. All you want to do is sell the most pens. So you give it to someone who runs the best servers in the world. And the best part, again, second best part, is if your little job that pushes that little blob out somewhere fails, the worst case is you've got stale data. If you run a service that interacts with other services, your customers or your clients have to go, is this up? Yes, it's up. I'll get the thing. If it's down, they have to handle that weird exceptional case that you're down. You don't want to knock out a website just because you can't serve a JSON blob in time. You just don't. It doesn't really make sense. So like I said, focus on your competencies as a business if you can. If you have got a world-class IT infrastructure, use it. But most people don't, and most people don't need it. And it goes back to that quote, which is like the issue with, like, say, cloud computing is it's someone else's machine. And I'm like, great, deal with it. It's not my problem. My problem is how fast can I get to my customers? And so I encourage you all to embrace risk. So code is inevitable. If you want to deliver value, you've got to deliver code. Fine. People are inevitable. As someone in IT, it annoys me that people are inevitable. But build that acceptance in. So the straightforward verbs of it is isolate, contain, evaluate, and repair. So if someone, a brilliant example I've seen is we have servers somewhere, or a company has servers somewhere. And those servers are managed by code. So it's not even people touch them anymore. The code goes, you are a server, you should only do these things. They've got a script, this organization. If someone even connects to that thing remotely, goes, oh, I'll just read the logs off here, or I'll just reboot this, this application here. It sets a 30-second timer, which will blow away the server because it's been tainted by human interaction. That's where I want us to be. I want us to be is like, people don't touch these things. And if they do touch these things, they get punished for these things. And then what happens is the server gets blown away and a bunch of code just goes, I will just heal my environment because I'm down a server because someone touched it. I will rebuild it and make it sane again. there's things like, someone's up in the firewall ports. I'll go around, and if you're familiar with Ansible, Puppet, Chef, those things, and someone's opened these things, those tools will go around and go, oh, actually, that's wrong. That's a web server. You've opened this. I'll just close it for you. You know, correct that behavior. And that's where code is good for mitigating risk rather than increasing your risk. Automate as much as you can. That goes without saying. I'm not going to elaborate on that. But if you can, and you must use code, use it to mitigate your risk or to sort of remove that human element as much as you can. The scenario I used was just one example. There are obviously many counterexamples. If you need stuff that's respond instantly, you're going to need code and infrastructure. But for a lot of processes, probably not. And really consider when you do your MVP or minimal viable product, how minimal you can make it. Could you get away with shipping a text file somewhere that someone uses? Or, you know, before you even think of like this stack, what's the least amount you can get away with that still delivers value, and then focus on incrementing on that rather than starting from a place of, I need this big bucket of tools I'm going to throw in before I've even written one useful line of code. That's it, really. So that's risk.